So
This meeting is being recorded.
Thank you for saying that. This is a mesh nebulizer. It doesn't weigh much. It has a chamber that holds about 1/3 of an ounce, and it has 3 attachments, either this one or 2 face masks that can be used either as an adult or a child. And this is really easy to either get vapor up your nose up into your high regions of your brain orally. By the way, if you got mucus or you got something that you're healing in your throat, you'll cough when this hits, when it comes up in here, because it's kind of like the same as doing aged Oran. The sting, you'll feel the sting if you have any congestion up here, and you'll have to go after it several times until you get used to it and get comfortable. So I'm just giving you a little disclaimer, so if you feel that. Now, I don't make any money off endorsing these, but I think they're a cool little toy and they're portable.
That's fresh you're using, right?
This is from this morning, yes.
Yeah.
Of course, if you walk around with the mask on, what do I do with the mask? If you walk around with the mask on, you can say, well, you just don't want to get COVID. So you're walking around sucking your urine, and nobody knows what the heck's going on there. So you'll have to look for off brands on Amazon or eBay. But it's so much easier than carrying around or plugging in a diffuser or a nebulizer. You can even put it by your bedside if you want it to be blowing your way while you're starting to go to sleep. So we are waiting for who? Who are we waiting for? Justina.
She said she wasn't going to make it today, right?
Oh, okay. So yeah, she'll get the recording. So before I forget, the class is scheduled for this Tuesday. Did you get the email?
Yeah.
Okay.
2222.
2222 is going to be changed. We're going to do the Thursday class as if it was the Tuesday class, and then extend the last class to the 8th of March. And my excuse is that I'm getting away for a 4-day hot springs retreat because I need a break from you guys. No, that's not the excuse. I've got so many major projects going on. I need to unplug from that, plus my clients in Boulder and my friends, and most of them understand.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, take care of yourself.
I didn't know that when I wrote my first book that this would be my new life's work, and that I would be on the world stage and in the spotlight a lot. So I'm having to learn to micromanage my energy and my time.
Right.
So we're going to start off by, I'm going to go get a prayer here, but we want to send blessings to Crystal because her dog of 15 years just decided to turn into spirit and leave her. So any grief she's got, let's just send her some love.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
I'm going to grab a prayer. I'll be right back. You guys talk.
Is that just sudden, or did you know that was happening?
It was yesterday at 10:45 a.m. We got to bury him at the park here and had a little ceremony. So, and it was very peaceful, like how he left. Me and my fiance were actually right with him and felt his spirit leave. So,
wow.
And I kind of knew for like 5 days that he was in the transition because, like, I swear he was like astral traveling, and I'm like, where he's like going, and his body was so peaceful. He usually had just a lot of other issues going on, and the last 5 days before, he was just like relaxed all the time and just would do a lot of eye gazing, and yeah. So I knew it was happening, but there was a part of me that was like, maybe he's just in a heavy detox, and I'm like trying to like give him, urine and yeah. So
that's good. He doesn't sound like he was in pain then.
No, he wasn't in any pain, and most of his life he was born with a very this weird spinal disorder. So yeah. And the last 5 days, like no pain, nothing. Actually, I started urine therapy on him in December, and it really helped a lot. And then he only drank distilled water or urine. So.
Oh, well. How'd you get him to drink urine?
My dogs love it. I have another dog and she loves it more. She's a boxer. She's 5. I mean, if I'm soaking my feet, she'll be next to me, kind of like, and she'll almost start panting in like excitement. Like, are you going to give me that? Is that for me? Please calm down. Like I have a steak or something. It's gotta, they know what's good.
Wow.
Now that I want to see in a video.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, huh?
Video.
Because everything we're doing is historic. It's things for each generation. So if you can capture something unique like that, it's going to inspire other pet owners.
Yeah. I mean, I was able to get my dog off all his congestive heart failure medicine and his heart healed. So, I mean, he had so many other issues, but like his heart wasn't one of them when so I was just really
That's
amazed by
amazing.
that.
That is amazing.
From the urine therapy. Yeah.
How long was he drinking it for before
He was
his heart?
drinking it for a few months, but he had been losing weight for a year and a half. And I know it was because of the medicines. He was on the heart medicines for 4.5 years. And he couldn't gain any weight. And like I brought him to the vet the last time and he was like, I don't know. He's lost so much weight. So I was able to take him off all the meds because the meds made him feel like crap. So the last few months of his life when he wasn't on the meds, he was doing really well. But his little body, it couldn't really, still couldn't gain weight. So yeah.
Bless him.
Yeah. So maybe if I would have known a little sooner, but I will say, I feel like part of our soul contract was for me to learn like, oh my God, we don't need meds. Like the vets were like, you can never take him off. He'll die within days. And it was a few months. So he didn't have the congestive heart failure symptoms. And I know them really well because I do have a conventional medical background. And he didn't have any, like, he wasn't coughing anymore. Like it was weird. And his chest had been always retaining so much water for the last 4 years. And his chest shrunk down. Actually, probably for the 8 years, his chest was so large. And then over the last few months, it actually shrunk. And I could not hear any fluid. I got on my stethoscope, like nothing. So it was really cool.
Gee.
Yeah. And then he was just so peaceful about being in the meds, right? Because they just drugged, he just was all, didn't like them. So I was like so grateful that I got to do that and witness that. So.
Take a breath. Take a breath, everybody. We're all connected. If you're feeling what Crystal's feeling, we need to keep breathing. So, in case you didn't hear, Megan, the class on Tuesday is going to be moved to, you heard, okay. I'm going to the hot springs. Anybody wants to join me? I'm going to unplug for 4 days. The beauty of living in Colorado. So you got your water?
In chin.
All right, I don't know if anybody's, yeah, that'll work. Is it empty? You feel like filling it right now? That's why she's off microphone. Okay. Oh, she'll be back. All right, well, I'm going to wait. I'll wait. Have you guys ever heard of this?
Heart, head, and hand decrease.
No?
All right, this came out from the 60s. This is when the messengers were bringing live transmissions from Saint Germain and Ascended Masters. And this started a whole movement of the I Am teachings and the Summit Lighthouse. And there's still a whole lot of people that still practice these decrees, also known as declarations, affirmations, whatever you want to call them. So I'm with several people here in Boulder who practice this as a group or individually. So I'm going to read you I Am Light by the Master Kuthumi. And as I read it, you got your water now, Megan? Atta girl. All right. So as I read this, every time you hear the word light, think of Shivambu. I know it's talking about the inner light and the light of all, but I keep hearing this as a prayer for Shivambu. So here goes. I am light by Kuthumi. I am light, glowing light, radiating light, intensified light. God consumes my darkness, transmuting it into light. This day I am a focus of the central sun, flowing through me as a crystal river, a living fountain of light that can never be qualified by human thought and feeling. I am an outpost of the divine. Such darkness has used me is swallowed up by the mighty river of light, which I am. I am, I am, I am light. I live, I live, I live in light. I am light's fullest dimension. I am light's purest intention. I am light, 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 flooding the world everywhere I move, blessing, strengthening, and conveying the purpose of the kingdom of heaven. Blessings.
Well, I love it.
Mm-hmm. I love Michelle's lifestyle. She's just so cozy there in bed, and she's got her nightcap right next to her bedstand. So, if anybody wants to take a couple minutes, just check in so we're all up to date with each other's journey or what happened during the last class, and if you tell us if you started any new protocols. Anybody want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first because I did the snorting with the syringe.
Mm-hmm.
So that was great, and I got a little bit of fuzzing there, and yeah, so I'm just not sure how you sniff pretty strong, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like it only goes sort of just to here, yeah. That's as far as it can go, and then it just sort of trickles back down.
Yeah, it's still going up, but it's not volume. It may be just like the essence of the Oran, but it's still penetrating. It's still going through the blood-brain barrier. But if you keep practicing, you get better at it, and then you start to feeling up in the brain area.
And how much to do in the little syringe? How much would be? Does it matter?
Is that a 20 milliliter, milli, whatever it is, milliliter?
Yeah, yeah.
I would say as much as you can snort, as much as you can get up there. I mean, it's intuitive medicine, so I can't give an exact measurement.
Sure.
I mean, the guys who drink it out of a glass or a jar, they'll drink 4 to 6 to 8 ounces of it.
Wow. Okay.
Baby steps.
Yeah. So that was great to see. I felt like I sort of passed that barrier. I didn't end up doing so I'm on the 4th day of fast, and today I feel so much better. It's unbelievable. So those first 3 days, I was just so heavy. I couldn't hardly do anything. I just sat here for 3 days, basically. But today I could just feel everything, and it was too cold because we're in Portugal. It's like, but in the mountains, so it's actually pretty cold in the evening. But when the sun comes out in the daytime, it's great. But yeah, it was too cold to do an aged enema, so I'm sort of still looking forward to doing that. But yeah, I feel like my eyes are clearing. My head is starting to clear. I'm just feeling so much more connected, just in nature with the animals, really feeling, a real sense of everything's looking so much more sparkling. So I'm really looking forward, because like, as I say, when I did the fast before, I was so ill. So to be able to do it when I'm not ill, but, just wanting to feel better, and I've lost I have no idea how much weight I've lost, but I literally couldn't get my jeans on over my jeans that I was wearing last year. But it couldn't go up to my thighs. And so 3 weeks ago, I kind of started doing the urine, but the fast, I could just get my trousers on. But today, that's within 3 days, I can nearly do the button up. So I've lost probably about an inch all over. And that's like in 3 days. It's just, I knew that I lost a lot of weight before, but I was too ill to care.
So you got a ways to go. There's more you want to lose?
Yeah, because I still can't get my trousers on. Basically, I need all my clothes back.
Would you be willing to take photos of before and after?
Yeah, I've kind of done them. Yeah, without my head in. But yeah, I have. I have. But I will. I'll show you.
Thank you. You can either leave your head in or just superimpose a model's head over your body.
Yeah.
Put Crystal's
And
head on your body.
which does bring me to the question of I've got a friend who is she's really thin, and she can't obviously afford to lose any weight, and she really wants to put weight on, and I'm sort of wondering, whether she's, God knows what she's got going on, but she might have parasites or worms or whatever. She's basically drunk a lot in her life. It's someone I've just connected with around here, and she stopped drinking, but she's just really kind of abused herself for a lot of her life. And so I was wondering, what's the best? And if she knew I was doing a fast, so immediately it was that kind of, oh, I'm not going to do that. And I said, well, look, this is really extreme what I'm doing, but you don't need to do that. Just gradually, bring it into your everyday. And she was like, okay. But it did make me just sort of wonder, is it something like if someone who really needed to do a fast that was sick, how much weight would they lose, or does it just sort of go to an even keel? Does it come to a balance and then they don't actually lose more weight, but they stay? I don't know. What
There's no set formula on how that's supposed to play out because everybody's metabolism is different and everybody's diet is different. And you'd have to actually talk to her about her lifestyle because there's more factors to consider other than drink some urine and you'll gain weight. And I know some people are saying, well, it may be dietary related, and some people are saying, well, if you eat later at night, you'll put on more weight while you're sleeping. I say there's a lot of emotional baggage that she's got to deal with at some point here, so that she can get her body back and she can reclaim her body back. And she may be the kind of person who's got such suppressed emotions she's not in her body.
Yeah.
So there's you got to do some investigating and questions to have to be asked.
Yeah. I guess the main thing was just sort of like about fasting, how wise is it for people who, because I think, she probably will eventually, she does art therapy and things like that. So I think I'll be able to talk to her about all that sort of stuff, emotional and that. But I guess I'm just sort of thinking about specifically fasting if someone's sick and they really want to get well, but they are very thin, and that would obviously put a block in the way of them wanting to do it, so I don't know how you would deal with that.
Wait, hold on. Let's hear from Megan.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've talked to different people about, and is coming again from the Ayurvedic perspective, but that there's ama in the body, which is toxicity, and ama can be from emotional, mental, physical, or spiritual reasons. And the understanding again of the fasting, that is that difference between weight and mass, and that when our body goes down in pounds, we're actually losing mass in that sense. And toxicity, because it can be emotional, has to leave the body in the same way that everything else does. And so it's going to come out to a certain extent through elimination through the bowels, or elimination through the sweat, or elimination through different ways, and you're going to see it. But is that elimination weight? And so if somebody has a lot of toxicity in their system and they're going to lose, the toxicity has to go. Then when we fast, it might not be weight that's leaving in the sense of fat. It could be ama from anywhere.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
So then when you're talking to someone who's underweight, when they fast, they might lose mass. They might lose something for a bit, but then what's going? So then when they stop the fast, what's going to come back on? Then we're not talking about fat versus they don't have any fat to lose. Well, they don't need to lose fat. That's obvious. They don't have it. But what does need to go? But there's as Brother Sage was saying, there's so much about what does she need to do first? What's the most important thing to do first? But the more I've gotten into the urine therapy, the more I've seen that even with myself, I do a fast. And one time I do a fast and I do go down on the scale. And another time I do the same fast and I don't go down on the scale.
Yeah.
Or I go down like a tiny, like 1 pound instead of 8 pounds. So what am I losing? I'm not losing weight.
Right.
I'm losing toxicity somehow, somewhere.
Yeah.
It's not always measurable.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's good to know. And like it's like, you know, it's the body's divine intelligence, isn't it? Sort of allowing it to come to balance somehow. But like as you say, doing the, you know, maybe if I get, because obviously EFT is so free and easy. If I was to get her doing that, then maybe that would be helpful for
The other component, and I had to talk to a new student this morning. She wants me to consult her about helping her friends get healed of cancer, and some other quote incurables. And I said, well, and she was told by her doctor she's got like a few weeks to live. I said, well, here's the deal: is the woman motivated to do whatever it takes to heal herself and turn the condition around? You've got to be at a place where you still have a strong will to live, and you're willing to to do what's suggested. And it'd be the same with an underweight person. Do they have a strong will to live, and will they follow suggestions, be proactive, make the changes, and get their health and their state of mind back? Because anything can be turned around if the person's at a point of willing to do what it takes.
Yeah.
And this is what you need to know when you're talking to people who said, well, I'm desperate. The doctor said this, and I don't know if I can make it. And you have to talk to their heart and soul to see where they're at, so you can check in with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
And so get used to playing the role of the 911 first responder in spiritual world, because we're doing a lot of that to our friends right now. I don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah.
The people are coming
Can
to
I
your
say
life.
something?
Yes, Catherine.
Oh, I feel like you guys are talking to me because I'm in that same place. Oh God, I forgot her name now.
Michelle.
Who is yeah. Not Michelle, no.
Megan.
What was your name again?
Megan.
Yeah. Meg. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I'm in that same place because I lost almost 40 pounds in the past year after antibiotics destroyed my microbiome, and I've been trying to gain it back. And when I did urine, I tried to do a urine fast, and for a couple days. It was a couple of months ago, and I got so sick I moved to just plain distilled water. But I got down from 97 pounds to 90 pounds. I lost 7 pounds in just those couple days of the fasting. And so I got really scared. I thought, I'm gonna just shrivel up and die. I can't do this. And so, but Megan, you're describing, I guess, why that happened is because I was losing toxins, and I did feel super toxic. I mean, I couldn't even think. My brain was so cloudy. But now, I want to do the fast too. And at this point, I've been doing the urine for about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months now. But I'm still at that, fear place of, I'm not sure my body can handle it. But I think it would be really beneficial if I can. I've been trying to prepare myself, and I don't know when I'll know if I'm ready or not, I guess is what I want to say. Or what I want to ask. Is there a way to tell, are you ready to do this, to really change your body?
Well,
or should I just continue, what I'm doing with the drink, drinking in the morning? Yeah, breathe. Yeah.
let's look to the book for an answer. Pull out your book or your PDF, and we're going to go to page. I love how the universe orchestrates all this perfection. Page 198. Page 198 in Intuitive Medicine. Would anybody volunteer to read page 198 to page 200?
Mine's not up yet.
Any takers?
Do you know what page it is digitally?
Well, it's the chapter that says Shivambu is in intuitive medicine, and it's in chapter 15
Chapter 15.
called Presenting
Yeah, I
Your
can't.
DP Services, and then it's a few pages over. 1, 2, 3, 4 pages over.
Shivambu as an intuitive water or medicine.
Yes.
Okay.
It's 108. Is that it?
198 in the book.
98. Okay.
It's, yeah.
Okay, Crystal, hit it.
How many pages did you want to read? Sorry.
From 198 to page 200.
Okay. Once you choose this lifestyle, or it chooses you, and you absolutely know what UT is doing for you, you will never quit the practice or look for something better. After gaining enough experience practicing AUT and are sure that you are ready, students and clients will seek you out. How well do you practice using your intuition? According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, intuition is an ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. It is the power or faculty of attaining direct knowledge or cognition without evident rational thought and interference. Do you feel confident with your intuitive abilities? Intuition is a tool. It is only as good as the person who uses it. Start today, right where you are, and practice being more mindful of using intuition. Mastering the use of intuition, along with mastering conscious breathing, is not only pivotal to your well-being and your clients, but also to everyone you know and will cross paths during your life. Breathe. Know that your intuition, instantly giving you quick and ready insight, is always at your service to guide and keep the session on course, assist in making good decisions and giving advice, suggesting lifestyle changes, and co-creating the best sessions with every client. Remember, you are an instrument, bridge, or guide for your client to do his or her own work with your assistance and cooperation. Your work is not to save, protect, improve, or change anyone, especially clients.
Hold a second. And I'm going to remind you what I might have said in the last class. Your work is for you to do. Their work is for them to do, and you're not here to do their work for them. Keep reading.
The sooner a client can throw away their psychological or mental crutches, concerns, doubts, and fears, and take responsibility for their self-help care, the faster they will heal and grow. They always heal themselves. Most clients come to you out of desperation, have given up hope and faith in the medical system, and are looking to you and UT as their last chance to save their life, reclaim their health, and have any quality of life. You may at times, when being approached by new clients, feel like a first responder answering to emergency calls, which can tend to scare you. After facilitating more and more sessions, this becomes second nature to you. You got this. You got this. Now would be a good time to set this book down. Take several deep connected breaths. Get recentered and calm. Go pee if you must. Perhaps start shaking the body. Take a shower, dancing, do yoga, singing, yelling, chanting, skipping, running, or walking. These are powerful tools to use either during a session or any time during the day when you feel stuck, anxious, concerned, confused, and uncreative, or in no movement. Breathe, exhale, repeat. Keep in mind that on this path, we give a lot of thanks to the golden blood plasma water for constantly cleaning, purifying, and washing away impurities in body, mind, while leaving us feeling fresh, clear, calm, balanced, and sane.
Thank you, Crystal. This can explain and help you understand why The people who approach life through their intellect will miss this. The people who approach life through their emotions and their heart, they get it right away. So you'll get your handful of people going, where's the science? Where's the evidence? How can we know for sure this works? Well, talk to 50 million people who are getting their health back. So that's something to note when you have conversations with people. Any questions about intuition? Because you're going to get a lot of comments from people that give you an opportunity to remind them that they have it more under control than they realize. And their intuition is their guidance system. Of course, I didn't.
Yeah, well, I realize that fear gets in the way of intuition. My fear does, for sure. I've just been looking at like what can help that, and I think for me, meditation and just being present is going to be a valuable tool for me.
So I gave you a definition of fear. It means forget everything and run. No, that's the old paradigm. It actually means face everything and rise.
Yeah.
People used to say fear meant false evidence appearing real.
Yeah, heard that one too.
In either case, when it shows up, among everything else that arises in you, you get a chance to stand in your light, in your power, and look at it straight forward, and it'll dissolve because you made it up. The things that scare you.
Well, yeah, and then Megan mentioned about that you need to work on the mental, emotional part too, and so so I've even been working with another UT member on doing trauma work, and so I even had a session with him doing trauma work because I thought I know there's something deep in there that's that needs to be unearthed, and so that I can heal body, mind, and soul. Yeah,
well done. Anybody else want to add to that while we're talking about intuition? All right, good. All right, let's keep going. Page 60. And I'm not sure where it is in PDF, but it's under chapter 7, I believe. Let's see what chapter this is. This is under chapter 7 on the UT protocols, and it's going to be heading number 2 called saturation dosing. In your book, it's page 60. Cool. And we're going to read it all the way up to the UT Protocols 28-day calendar, which I believe you guys got a copy of. Anybody else want to read, or would you like me to read? Crystal's a good reader, but I'll read. We'll catch up the next person next time. All right, page 60. Saturation dosing with AUT, auto urine therapy. The practice of increasing the oral and or topical uses of Oran. The saturation point is an arbitrary attempt to reach Oran capacity at its fullest or limit. Saturation dosing is your best prevention and defense of an illness or a compromised immune system, which a lot of people are concerned about in 2022. It gives you a fighting chance, I might have misspelled that word, a fighting chance to get ahead of any virus, sickness, contamination, or compromise to your health. Saturation dosing is gaining in popularity as a preventative protocol, especially when started before the onset of an illness. Considering that the body is continually regenerating and purifying itself, it's actually an oxymoron to believe that we could ever reach the point of being full to the maximum with Oran. So you can't OD on this in case anybody was wondering. So here's why using your intuition matters. Keep in mind that Oran, with its 3,000 plus compounds, identified micronutrient-sized substances, and it would be virtually impossible to determine daily minimum requirements and a serving size for everybody. You're going to get that question. Well, how much should I take? Drink as much as you can. I mean, you want to give them some kind of a range, but It's not as difficult as people are making it. This is why it is clearly understood that Oran therapy is an intuitive medicine or water. The purpose of saturation dosing is to flood the bloodstream, body, and cells with the maximum concentration of vital nutrients in a shorter time than it takes with just one glass or serving per day. It has been a widely held belief and practice that a glass a day of Oran meets the average person's minimum health needs. But why stop there? This may be the case for those UT devotees who have been drinking and applying Oran for many years, with the addition of other health practices like fasting, fruitarianism, raw veganism, enemas, colonics, qigong, tai chi, meditation, sun gazing, omad, which is a meal a day, exercise, daily conscious deep connected breathing, clearing limited beliefs, and getting lots of hugs and conversations that matter. I also included massage in case it's not in your book. Committed health enthusiasts who are continually using the UT protocols have gained an experience and a knowing with AUT that gives them great certainty in its healing power. Those just starting AUT, the newbies, using minimum doses, are improving at a snail's pace, playing it safe, often not changing anything about their diet or lifestyle, and experiencing incredible health improvement. You're going to come across those people. They think all they got to do is add urine drinking and urine protocols to their lifestyle, but they don't change anything else. Yeah. So just remember that when you're talking to people, that you're going to dig a little bit deeper than just the surface to find out more about them. Education and experience using AUT is a major influence and source of inspiration for the practice and for the results. AUT teachers or authors may not have taught them anything different. So now would be a great time to bring saturation dosing into the conversation with your water buddies. It's a great time for you and all students of this manual and of AUT to start practicing saturation dosing and or increasing what you are doing with Oran therapy until you have a direct experience of this protocol, which is saturation dosing. Having the understanding and confidence in teaching this UT model to others will make a big difference for them. This choice brings days of feeling good and days of not feeling well, with varying degrees of feelings in between. To experience a quantum leap in healing and reclaiming your well-being requires discipline, motivation, courage, and faith in yourself as well as the process. How to begin UT saturation dosing. Start by putting aside all your concerns about increasing the consumption of Oran. Trust the teachings in this manual and give 100% of your determination and energy into succeeding with AUT. Scheduling dates and times and designing a plan of action helps when you see it laid out on a calendar for daily and weekly use. Or print out something like this, one below, and write in the protocol details. Any questions? We want to move this healing along for people. And I know people have been going way too long suffering with pain, with inflammation, with constipation, with all kinds of illnesses. And you're presenting them with a remedy that's beyond comparison. And they don't know it yet. And sometimes we don't know it yet. So it's a matter of going as far as you can down the urine therapy rabbit hole and finding out your answers, as many of you are doing. Any questions so far?
I guess I have a question. I can taking supplements interfere with it?
Not necessarily, preferably supplements that are food-based and not isolates or synthetics. And you may not,
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
You may not realize that because in this industry known as supplementation and vitamins, there's a lot of things that happen that are not on the label. And there's a lot of manufacturing practices that aren't necessarily for the best. And that's why I'm always moving people to raw foods, veganism. When I was working in all the health food stores, the closest thing I was a raw foodie. So I'd tell people, well, here's the wheatgrass juice, and here's the aloe vera, and over here is the spirulina, and I would move them to what is the most reliable whole food in the store. And so most of those other vitamins, I walk right past those shelves, and people get mad at me who I was working for. Well, what about zinc and C and B and da da da? I said, well, I'm not that guy. I'm going to tell you about these things. And I lasted in that industry for a while. Did that answer
Because
your question?
if we're lacking a nutrient, or if we're deficient in a nutrient, I know that eventually urine will resolve that, but it takes a while, right?
Well, it takes as long as it takes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. But if you're pretty unbalanced and off, you know, yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of imbalance and maybe deficiencies. I'm not absorbing nutrients, and so I know eventually that Oran will take over, but do I need to in the meantime to supplement with a couple different things? It's what I am doing homeopathics because I really believe in those and I love homeopathy, but
You said the
also an
most,
enzyme.
you
Yeah.
said the important word. And the word is belief.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
The people, you might be some of them. I've seen people that go cold turkey on vitamins. They just drop them all together. I know people go
Well, I
to,
pretty much have. I mean, I have a whole pharmacy in my closet, and I don't take, I only
yes,
take a couple different ones. Yeah.
yeah. So
How do we know, like, this is like almost like, how do you know you're actually deficient in something? Like the test they
I
use,
don't.
it's like, this is what they say is normal, but how do you not know that your body, what you have right now, is exactly what you need for your healing? And so maybe it seems lower than what they say it should be based on 20-year-old males that the averages are, for. But how do we know? It's like, for me, it was like I had to drop all this. I have all these deficiencies and just go with like,
Yeah.
my body knows exactly what it's doing, and I can have full trust in that. And I know that you said that you would take supplements and they make you feel worse. That's what was happening to me for years. And
Yeah.
since I have a medical license, I got them from all these sources and I got a crazy discount. And I'm like, well, these are the best ones. And then I'm realizing they're not from natural food source. They're isolated, and taking one messes up the ability of the other one, like zinc and copper and all the one. So I just was like, you know what? I'm done. And it felt so freeing. And I'm saving, I don't know, we're saving in a household at least $600 or $700 a month that we spent on.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I know.
And I feel truth. So yeah.
The only thing is, there's symptoms, and what are the symptoms, that are manifesting? How, like the symptom that bothers me the most is I always have this metally, like bitter taste in my mouth. I don't, what is that? What is that, a deficiency, or is it toxicity? It's
Or
like, how do I,
it's
pardon
healing.
me?
It could just be healing. I view my symptoms as healing. And so then I let go of this narrative that it must be something wrong with me and I must be deficient. And just like,
I'm
no,
healing. That's a good one,
yeah,
Crystal. I like that. Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, and you just trust it. Your body knows exactly. It's been doing it for millions and millions of years until our minds got in the way and like started creating the problems, and we started associating symptoms with illness, when in reality it's all healing and detoxing, and that's it. So, or that's my perspective anyway. So
Yeah, that's really good.
and
Yeah.
you may come to find out that this whole idea about being deficient came from an industry that was selling you on believing that you're not okay the way you are. Because what if you're not even engaged in the idea that there's something missing or something lacking, and you operate from the idea or the consciousness that you're okay the way you are, and that what you need is going to come to you, your body's going to restore its health, and because all these other ideas about I'm deficient, boy, that bums me out. I'm just thinking about it. It can zap
That's
your
true.
energy.
That's really true. Yep.
So you have to keep it all in perspective. Megan.
Yeah.
Just one thing that I've found, and we're talking about age urine, and yes, it's phenomenal and amazing, and I love it, and it's so powerful. But also, my teacher Shakti Mai, who's been doing urine therapy for about 38 years now, he when she told me about it, she only told me about fresh. That was what she knew. And so I did nothing but fresh for 5 years. And I'm sure Brother Sage also did fresh for a long time before getting into the aged. And I do credit that time. I didn't know, I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't intending for it because I wasn't worried about it. But I think that all those years of fresh reset my system, helped rebalance it so that my urine was producing what I needed. But I wasn't worried about it at the time because it just felt right. And just a lot of people I talk to now, they have such a rush. They're like, I want to get it. I want to do everything perfect right from the start and get it done. And when can I start aged? And I'm like, it is beautiful. But also, I think those 5 years of fresh were so valuable when I look back on it. So we all find our own way through it. We've already said that, but like that's, you know, there isn't the rush. I guess our minds want to rush. To your point, it's all in our minds. The rush is in our mind. The problem is in our mind.
I'm just
Well, it's funny you're saying that, Megan, because a word that keeps coming up for me is patience. You know, patience, patience, patience. So,
and also,
yeah,
I
thank you.
Michelle?
What I'm, as you're talking, I suddenly got a memory then of when I was pregnant. I had this amazing doctor, natural birth. He was called Michel Adon, and he was really famous for water births and anyway, I just happened to end up being connected to his partner, who was my doula. And I didn't know she was connected to him, and I didn't know anything about her, but she was just so incredibly calm and patient, and all my concerns and worries just went every time I spoke to her, because of her absolute faith in my body. And she transmitted this absolute knowing. And the birth that I had was beautiful and incredible. But what I'm saying was that I just suddenly got that memory, and it's, yes, of course, it's when someone is going to be talking to us, their fear, and they're going to be really, I guess it's like us speaking to you, Brother Sage, is we're feeling the transmission. It's when I speak or we speak to friends or family or people that are just a little bit open, they feel, don't they, that knowing, and it just helps that little bit further, so I just really remembered that when Megan was talking, and felt that resonance as she was talking, and it's like, yeah, that's what we're doing, isn't it? We're transmitters now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the more you increase your use of the Shivambu, the more of the relaxing nutrients like melatonin and oxytocin, and serotonin, and DHEA, and magnesium, and B vitamins, all those nutrients that everybody goes to buy at the store, is in there with thousands of compounds. And people have noticed one of the side effects is they're calmer.
Absolutely.
Their heart is more open. Their playful spirit starts to return. Their interest in life starts to come back.
Totally.
Not a bad side effect.
It's just incredible.
Yes, and who would have thought Ponce de Leon didn't figure it out? It came with the body. So did the intelligence of how to use your water, and you're just now learning that. Wow, we came with instructions.
It did. It's just mind blowing.
Yes, wait till you've been at this for 20 years.
Yeah.
You're gonna be even more amazed and humbled and in awe that you had this your whole life, but nobody thought to tell you.
God, I wish I did, because I started doing the drops and the rubs 20 years ago, but I didn't take the leap to take it. I was thinking about that last night, going, I could have changed my life 20 years ago. Oh well.
Yes, and you would
Clearly
be,
needed to suffer more.
well, had you known, you'd have done it. It kind of reminds me when people say, well, did your parents do a good job of loving you? Well, they could only love you from the awareness and understanding they had about love that they learned from their parents. So we can't blame them.
Right.
They're human beings. So, any other questions? We're going to take a break in about 15, 20 minutes. So we can either go into the next passage of the book or we can open it up for discussion. What would you guys be interested in?
Next passion book.
Okay, because as someone who's done plenty of radio shows, dead airspace is not a good thing. You go, what are you doing? No one's talking. Page 32. We're going to go a little bit into research. We're going to read from page 32 to page 39. Catherine, you feel like doing any reading?
I would if I could find it.
Okay, are you in the book?
No, I'm looking for it on my phone. I don't have the book.
Good.
Yeah, that's my next step.
Chapter 5.
It's page 27 on the PDF.
Thank you, Megan. It's nice to have a personal assistant.
Yeah, no, let somebody else do it until it makes me nervous for you to wait on me. Let somebody else do it.
I worked in protocol for a long time.
Gotcha. Michelle, you feel like reading?
I would, but mine isn't opening. It's just going into that coded stuff.
Okay, we're going to bounce it to Crystal. We're running out of choices here.
Okay.
So page
Sorry,
32 to 39.
32 to what?
32, chapter
39?
5. Chapter
Yeah.
5.
No, I got that. Just tell me when to stop. I'll just keep reading until you say
It stops before you get to chapter 6. It's the whole chapter 5.
all human beings have drank their own Oran while growing a body in the womb of their mother. In the natural biological heaven of the human reproduction process, inside the maternal womb is where the formation of our body took place. The first step was the formation of mother cells, the heart, brain, kidneys, bones, basic organs, nerve cells that receives and transmit, and above all, the coordination between sensorial organs and the incredible balance of genetic information, cell reproduction, and the bioenergetic stimulant. Inside the maternal womb, we are in complete peace, comfort, and harmony, preparing ourselves to come out to a new life in the exterior world. The human's perfect time on earth may be during the gestation period. Oran therapy is literally a gift from God or Shiva. It is a built-in part of our nature. There is no human on earth that has not taken his or her own Oran. In our first 24 to 30 days, we will start peeing into the amniotic liquid. Through the umbilical cord, the baby does receive special nutrients such as immunoglobulin, and vitamins, but most of all, oxygen from the mother. When the baby reaches the age of 5 months, they urinate from 400 to 500 milliliters each day inside the amniotic sac, and between 8 to 9 months, the baby urinates 20 to 30 times every 24 hours. 98% of the composition of the Oran is water. 1% is elements consisting of cells and filaments, and another 1% is made up of more than thousands of healing chemical substances and the power of ions, electrically charged atoms. Powerful substances found in milligrams that carry the genetic information and energy of what works well or not in the body. A fetus swallowing its own Oran is not only sterile and safe, it is essential for proper biological development. A decrease in Oran production or excretion can result in a reduced amount of amniotic fluid. The Oran that a baby produces in utero doesn't pose any risks, even when the fetus consumes its piss. It's not only normal, but also healthy for a baby's body to run organ system functions, as well as develop swallowing, breathing, and other actions needed for thriving. Your body creates an ideal environment that protects the baby as it develops. Temperature control, nutrients, stem cells, antibody protection, and more are just a few of the automatic benefits a baby gets in the womb. The germ situation isn't comparable to, for example, a toddler putting anything they want in their mouths. While floating inside the womb in their Oran and amniotic fluid, babies open their eyes and can see light from the outside. Although a baby's eyes can see light starting around week 16, their peepers aren't fully formed until about week 20. The eyes first open between week 26 and 28. Their vision is rather blurry, but they can see and respond with a flutter of activity to bright sources of light like the sun or a flashlight pointed at a woman's belly. Thanks to pee getting into their ears as their hearing develops, babies can hear more than we realize. Babies are bathing their eyes in Oran and observing their water world with open eyes. While using this time to learn how to breathe and use their lungs, babies snort amniotic fluid filled with Oran up their nose. It's thought they can smell food too. We already have experienced drinking Oran through the nose from the beginning of our lives and just forgot. Mom getting outside helps a baby's eyes develop and reduce the risk of a few eye disorders. When you drink or topically apply Oran, you take in your own free auto vaccine. Unlike any man-made vaccine, Oran has no side effects, harmful chemicals, or toxic materials in it. In other words, Oran is part of the beginning of life, and we literally grew up with it built into our nature. It is a wonderful cycle of life that should never be interrupted. Nobody can live without water. For that reason, water is a sacred element. Nobody can live without air. For that reason, air is a sacred element. Nobody can live without fire. For that reason, fire, including the sun, is a sacred element. Nobody can live without taking the Oran inside the mother. For that reason, Oran is a sacred element. The medical applications of Oran and its constituents have been tested, discussed, researched, and utilized to such an extent throughout the 20th century that it seems incredible that almost none of us, including the majority of doctors and medical administrators, have ever heard anything about it. But again, the reason for this is not entirely a mystery, even though the success of urine therapy was reported long before the 1900s. 20th century medical researchers, doctors, and the public turned their interests away from traditional natural medicines. Shavambu and yoga are rejuvenating. AUT is the perfect medical solution for the millions of Indians who cannot afford medical treatment. I have been practicing it on multiple occasions. It is a profound medicine. Actually, it is one of the ancient yogic techniques called Enroli Kriya. Shavambu and yoga, if practiced together, is very effective and rejuvenating. George Fernandez, former defense minister, Government of India. Oran therapy was moved out of the home and doctor's offices and into the Bolivian of research laboratories, where unfortunately it is being stored until the world is ready to hear about it. UT largely disappeared from public use at the turn of the 20th century. The knowledge of the therapy is currently hidden in medical journals and research reports that people and doctors in general never see. Oran ingredients are simply isolated and converted into unrecognizable medicines and cosmetics. Even though there have been amazing scientific discoveries about the therapeutic use of Oran, medical researchers, for the most part, do not tell the public about their discoveries. Again, this situation is most likely the result of two factors. Number one, modern medical researchers are primarily oriented towards finding strong, monetarily profitable chemical, quote, magic bullets to cure, quote, symptoms, not the cause of specific diseases, and not towards discovering natural medicines, which augment the body's natural capacity to heal. Number two, most medical researchers must answer to big pharma and are contractually bound not to reveal the results of their research until the research can become a profit-making medical therapy, patented by the company who funded the research. Also, medical researchers tend to devote their research to extremely specialized branches of medicine, and these separate departments of medicine don't generally communicate their findings to departments outside of their own research fields. So the urologists, for instance, who discover that Oran prevents and heals urinary tract infections might publish their findings for other urologists, but a doctor in general practice would probably not come in contact with these studies on the importance of Oran in bladder or kidney infections. The public and most practicing doctors today consider Oran to be nothing more than a body waste, but many medical researchers know that in reality, Oran is an enormously comprehensive and powerful medical substance. Now you get to read what many scientists and doctors know, but haven't told us about the amazing curative effects of Oran therapy with its anecdotal stories of healing and survival. Regardless, if Oran is being generally ignored, ridiculed, or written off as another theory, people are learning the truth and reading healing stories that are taking on significance that not even doctors can ignore.
So does it make sense to you why this has been around forever, but the people who know about it keeping it quiet, and then folks like us, yes, long live Shivamba, are being as vocal as possible, and some of you are actually stepping out of your comfort zone and bringing it up in conversations with people that you would normally not want to talk about this to, because we're all at a precipice or a turning point in our lives and in our history. So you have to look deep inside yourself and ask yourself, who am I to not tell them? Unless you're still concerned about being judged or criticized. I'm not calling you out. I'm just pointing it out. Because every day you probably have plenty of opportunities. You meet people all day long, right? There's always an open opportunity in the conversations to bring that up. Oh, by the way, did I show you this cool thing?
Yeah.
It looks like a little spaceship, and it's called a hideaway. It's a collapsible water bottle, and this holds 24 ounces. It's opaque and you can't see through it. You can take this publicly. Nobody knows you're a secret agent drinking your water. And then when you want to go, boom, you collapse it. You take it with you. You take it with you, and it weighs a couple ounces.
Fantastic.
It's called a hideaway, and I've been trying to figure a way to get this company to brand it with our little slogan, Urine Therapy Does the Body Good, with the website address, and ship them and drop ship them to all the customers around the world.
Did you get that on Amazon too?
Well,
Amazon?
I'm looking for a way. So the way my life's set up is that I'm so busy doing things out in the world and making things happen and communicating and manifesting things that I don't want to be the guy who has to set up a warehouse and do a production. So there's a way that you can get websites like Zazzle, who will do T-shirts and novelty items, to drop
That's a
ship.
good idea.
So if you can get a company who'll do the collapsible silicone cup, there's also the what is the one for women, that funnel? It's called a Wee Me, a Me Wee.
Yeah.
What's it called, Megan?
Shiwi.
Shiwi, right. So that would be a cool item to have a logo and market it for the gals out there. All right, any question on what was just read about research? Because there's always people who want research. Megan?
What, again, just in my own world of how I've been interacting with it, and partially because I know Darlene is doing her PhD, so we talk about some of this stuff. But I also have an academic background, so I like to dive into things. So I've been looking at studies. There are a few things that are urine-based. There's the human urine metabolome study out of the University of Alberta, which, Brother Sage, I'm sure you've seen that one.
I might have, but I'd always love a link.
Okay, so and also I'm going to see if I can drop it in here. It's a PDF. It might not be too big to do it. But
I prefer email.
Okay. But for everybody on here, well, if you send us all our emails, I can do that too. But I'll see if it goes in, it goes in. If it doesn't, I can email it to everyone. That was part of a long study at the University of Alberta, and I can send it separately too. Like 7 years with 20 researchers And they came up with over 3,500 elements in urine. And of those, there were close to 4,000 amino acids that they found. That doesn't mean every single person has that in their body every single day, but that means that of everybody they studied, they did find all these things. And I found this particular paper only breaks down part of what they found, but it's got a lot of tables in it. And it's very scientific, and it's very dense. And so it's not about reading every word, but if you just start looking through the tables and you start checking out some of the things that they've listed, and you think about people you know or yourself, and when you've bought supplements that's what they are, and there it is. And it's a way, so to that point of people who want proof, this is one which is interesting, but most people won't wade through it because it's too much. It's not in tight paragraphs that everybody understands. You've got to kind of read it and look at it and digest it yourself. But the other thing is making links between things. That's what I found so interesting at the moment and exciting about it, is to take people like Fabian Farquharson, who's done so much on inside the urine therapy groups on Facebook. And he's done little videos at different times where he's used an ORP meter, oxygen reduction potential meter, and looked at the negative ion charge of molecular hydrogen and then aged urine. Well, there's no study on aged urine, but there's lots of studies on molecular hydrogen. So he shows what's possible with molecular hydrogen. He shows how similar it is to aged urine. It's not a huge leap if you already know that urine works, to make the connection between, if it's true for molecular hydrogen, a lot of the same things can be said for therapeutic purposes for aged urine. But again, most people aren't going to do that. So I'm just sort of like, in terms of the research that's out there, sometimes we have to get creative. What other thing has been studied, which we can make a link to urine with, and then use that other study as a way to extrapolate or to say, well, what if we did this with it? Would we find the same thing? So we're not without resources. We just have to be creative with them.
So you said you could send that to us so we can read it?
So I did stick it here in the chat.
Okay.
It says human metabolome, urine.
It works. I opened it up, I think.
Oh, okay.
So that's it. But also I can email to Brother Sage, but he'd have to send me all of your emails, or because we thought we might do that anyway, so we could email each other.
Yeah, if you send it to me, I've got everyone's email.
It's
And
cool.
there are people out there that they live for this kind of information, this kind of research, this kind of depth. I'm not one of them, but I love to have that ability to give them what they need to get an understanding enough to start to practice.
I find it very fascinating about the molecular hydrogen water. So I learned about that almost a year ago. So that's what I was drinking before I found out about the urine. Like I bought like the whole setup for one, and it really did help me. But then the urine was just like, wow, like way more, right? And I don't even use any of my like molecular hydrogen tools anymore. That's pretty cool though.
Thank you, Megan.
Yeah, thanks, Megan. It's amazing. Great.
So we're going to take a 5-minute break. Unless anybody wants to make.
Okay. Cool.
All right, I'm going to take off the recording. You guys go do something.
Moment at some point, you could have a chat and I could run you through some of the things that I was sort of hypothesizing about. But I have some, I'd like to get your opinion on that.
Yes, and it'd be fun to have a conversation with you and Fabian. You know, get Darlene, get you, get Fabian, and some of the other geniuses in the water family to talk about this and to bring out an understanding for the community.
Yeah.
How's the weather in Canada?
Well, it's actually melting today. However, I don't know if you can see, that's the snow.
Okay. How much did it accumulate?
That's about 4 feet.
In what time period?
We've had 6 storms in 7 weeks.
Did you get enough moisture for the farmers and the gardeners?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We definitely have that, but it's it hasn't been the roughest winter, but it's just been constant. It's like every week there's another one, and they can barely clear the.
You guys are so easy. I love you guys. Okay, we want to go to page. We just did page 32. Page 25. 25 is part of chapter 4. And the title is Oran is the best and the last supplement that I will never buy. Um, page 25 to page 31. Any volunteers? Or would you like me to read? Megan's going to volunteer. What a brave soul. Okay.
All right. Oran is the best and last supplement that I will never buy. Many, quote, water brothers and sisters, unquote, are being called by Shivambu and simply know and trust that it works. The way to know for sure that Shivambu can be an answer to your health and wellness takes discipline or commitment. Not only will you see results soon, you will be able to live a long and healthy quality of life by maintaining a continual daily practice. How does Oran affect attitude, emotions, and behavior? Thanks to the presence of various hormones and nutrients, drinking or topically applying Oran balances and improves one's attitude while restoring better brain health. Oran delivers vital nutrients to the brain as it repairs important functions and raises alkaline pH, and it reduces tension and inflammation as it removes toxins and pathogens. Benefits from UT include feeling good in your body, better confidence, better sense of self, concentration, mental peace, improved memory, clarity, and creativity. Thanks to Oran, with nutrients such as serotonin, melatonin, oxytocin, magnesium, B vitamins, and DHEA, people report feeling calm, patient, and safe. With the absence of chemicals that cause addictions, many have gained their freedom from these self-destructive habits within a week of drinking pee. This newfound confidence has been inspiring many UT enthusiasts to radically change and improve their food choices. Some call a diet, even moving toward living foods or a fruitarian lifestyle. Shivambu like breathing is a miracle.
So what if when people go for drug rehabilitation and they go to these rehabilitation centers, they offer urine therapy? That would be the future of Shivambu. People could go that if they haven't learned how to do this, but they go there and the person says, well, here's what a lot of people are doing to break the chemical addiction, to break all that's still stored in your cells and tissues, and get them on urine therapy. That would be a great world to live in. Megan, go ahead.
Okay. So with the Q&A,
Please.
Are there any exceptions to who can benefit from UT? Answer, no. A UT can be practiced by anybody, whether they are young, old, babies, sick, or healthy, without any expenditure and with a little basic knowledge. It does not produce any side effects, after effects, or ill effects, which are generally unavoidable with use of medicines or surgery. AUT treatments are fast, inexpensive, free, harmless, safe, and simple to administer for any chronic or acute illness without the help from any doctor or medical professional. Shivambu devotees are healthy people who rely on UT to remain healthy. Whereas a sick person can be free of their challenges very promptly, UT is self-evident, self-contained, and reliable source of the water of life. Can pets be treated with Oran therapy? Many of the research tests on Oran recycling have proven it works well with animals. Veterinarians have successfully used Oran therapy at clinics as a treatment by administering Oran orally.
Now, if I didn't already mention, we have lots and lots of testimonials from pet owners who have either given their Oran to their dogs, their cats, their guinea pigs, by either giving them massage or giving them oral application. So if you have pets or if you know anybody who has pets, here's a good suggestion for them. Of course, you're not going to be standing under your dog trying to catch it when he pees. So you're going to have to, get creative here.
I did that. I stood under. got
And
it.
did it work?
Yeah, but I mean, he was little, and I was kind of desperate, so I was willing to do anything. I mean, I even did it with my own hand if I. But yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine what's going through his mind. What are you doing? I gotta pee. Get away.
I just wonder why animals don't intuitively drink their own urine.
Some do. Some monkeys.
They do?
Orangutans, giraffes, camels, goats. There are YouTube videos of them going all over the place.
Oh yeah. Huh.
Really?
And I believe it was it Nick Caputo who was talking about doing a back inverted yoga posture and being able to aim it in his mouth. I'm going, that's advanced yoga, guy or girl.
Wow.
All right, Megan, please go. Keep going.
Which diseases can be remedied by Oran therapy? Oran is your body's perfect medicine and not a man-made medicine as taught by the medical industry for any disease. It is a means provided by one's nature to keep up the health of the body and cure the host or body, you, of any dis-ease, regardless of personal beliefs. As such, there are no limits or conditions that Oran cannot heal. It is only the mind that creates difficulties or impossible tasks for our ability to heal the body. Oran is a natural auto-vaccine that acts as an immune modulator that is very specific and personal. Auto-vaccine is defined by the medical dictionary as, quote, a vaccine prepared from cultures of organisms or a virus from the patient's tissues or secretions, end quote. The antigen urinary in the Oran of the patient, a natural protein that the body eliminates, has no risk or side effects and can be taken in combination with other natural resources, allowing us to slowly reduce and eliminate the immunosuppressors and chemotherapy medications that are being prescribed. We have the ability to create our own vaccine. All the microorganisms that infect our systems from toxins and endotoxins stimulates our immunological system to form antitoxins or antidotes, which are discarded in the Oran. When we take it, we force the bacteria to take their own toxins. That is why we say poison kills poison. Oran therapy acts as an auto-vaccine that has the same elements of our own illness, homeopathic model. It has antiviral action, anti-neoplastic, antispasmodic, diuretic, anti-allergenic, anticonvulsive, and cardiovascular stimulant, anti-inflammatory, antiseptic, bactericide, and antifungal as well. Do you mean that even a diagnosis is unnecessary? Answer, correct. Diagnosing any disease is unnecessary. UT itself traces out the disease in the manner the police search out a thief in hiding and turns them in. Question, can you give an example or two? Answer, let's clarify the point by illustrating a historic fact. Perfect health is essential in yoga practices. Otherwise, concentration is likely to be disturbed by bodily disorders. Even mild attacks are likely to disturb meditation. It is therefore essential that a practitioner of yoga be free from all physical troubles. And how to accomplish it? The mystics of India, using intuition or wisdom from long experience, found out that the sure cure of Oran were remarkable for all health complaints or concerns. Question. It is wonderful, but why was this philosophy that was so beneficial and trusted been kept a secret until now? Answer. This old philosophy and cure never disappeared at all. It has been around us and is still here, but our modern prejudice mentality did not allow AUT to be understood or discussed up until now. Insects, birds, fish, and quadrupeds are already using this means instinctively. By now, you've seen YouTube videos of orangutans, reindeer, camels, or giraffes drinking their pee straight into their mouths. Only human beings, intoxicated by their intellectual power, have neglected it. They are using their skills and knowledge mainly for selfish ends.
Thank you. So I would venture to say that the wisdom and the knowledge, kind of like studying mystical teachings or teachings of masters, has already been with us our whole life, if not lifetimes. And it's being unlocked for the public as fast as possible. You guys heard the call, so you opened your mind, you discovered that you could heal yourself and that you could liberate yourself from the suffering and the pain that everyone's going through. And everybody seems to be at whatever point they're at in hearing and receiving this information. So, how are you doing in that respect? Are you getting the word out? Are you keeping it a secret?
No, I talk to most people about it.
And how does it feel when you get a yes?
Yeah, it's amazing. I get quite a lot of it. Well, especially around here. When I was back in England after I'd got sick, and I was telling people about it, there was a lot of, suspicion and oh God, what is she doing now? And that's so dangerous and all of that. So, but I didn't care because I just felt like that even if people did that to me, what I sometimes say is I like to say this because even if it doesn't resonate with you now, maybe in a couple of years you might get sick and suddenly, like what happened to me, you like, oh my God, urine therapy, maybe I'll do that now, maybe I'm desperate enough. So I say that as well. But it was amazing.
Your approach matters. This is why I love talking to people about turning this into a career, because you're like a cross between Sherlock Holmes and a whistleblower. I mean, you're going to find different ways to discuss it, different ways to model it, different ways to hold it. You might even suggest to people, have you heard about golden blood plasma water therapy?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, I started a Facebook group called the Golden Blood Plasma Water Society. So find different ways to use the English language in a way that they'll hear it from their perspective. Not everybody wants to hear
I've
the
been
word.
talking to people that,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I've been talking to people that I feel like are more open-minded, but I don't bring it up to people that I don't feel like, are even remotely ready to hear it. Maybe I should, but even the people that are open-minded are usually, I don't get a very positive reaction from it. They're like, what? I thought that was a waste. So, but
Is
I
there
am working with an autistic boy that I've actually been working with for a long time, and I brought it up to his mother, and I said, "Have you heard of urine therapy?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, that's where you drink your urine, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then she's like, "No." So she wasn't even open to it. I said, "Well, he could, drink his, own urine." She goes, How would I get it?" I said, "You'd have to collect it." So
well, when you study the
I
book,
was wondering what it would do. Yeah.
there are different approaches for the people who hit you with the immediate resistance. And the reason people give you resistance is because they're not educated. And so our job is to educate them.
Yeah.
Mm.
Give them
I-
give them alternatives from, well, what do you consider a foot soak? I mean, there's various different approaches. If people
Yes.
say, well, he won't drink it, well, that's one of 24 protocols.
I actually did do that because he has fungus on his foot, on his toe. And so I said, "What, you want to try urine, soaking it in urine?" But she didn't. Yeah, she wasn't. Yeah, she thought it was pretty gross.
Okay,
I know it would heal it like that, though. I really want him to do it.
yeah. So this is why you can pick up testimonials online from either the social media groups or Shivambu.hut, the Shivambu Hut, and we also have more and more celebrity videos of people who
That's a good
talked
idea.
about, like,
Yeah.
with professional athletes and professional boxers and runners who said, well, they don't get foot fungus because they've been putting their feet in their urine. We had videos with all kinds of people, and those are circulating around. Whatever people will make an association with, you try that.
What sometimes has really helped is talking about, Andrew Norton Webber talks about, the whole thing when people say it's a waste product or it leaches distilled water, leaches minerals from your body. You could say it's like just like distilled water, but distilled water, how the powers that shouldn't be, are constantly trying to confuse us, and that that there's this essay that comes up on Google at the top of the search that has you know, that is talking about that it leaches minerals from the body, but actually it's a truth, but it leaches the negative, the toxic minerals.
Inorganic.
Yeah, the inorganic minerals.
Inorganic.
That usually helps. When I say that immediately, oh no, it's not what we think, because like anything else that's going on these days, there's so much manipulation and disinformation. This essay comes up all the time, and I sort of talk about that, and then people are like, okay, and then I kind of leave it, and then sometimes then people come back and go, oh, have you got a video on that, or you got and then I just send them the video, send them the link, so it just sort of seems to come in stages. But if I just sort of say it really confidently and calmly, I feel like people are testing me, and like one of my clients came in and said, Michelle, I've just read something that I'm really worried about you, because I've read something that it's going to it makes people mad. I've just seen a study on it, and I just said, well, there's a lot of information there that just isn't correct. This has been happening for 5,000 years, whatever else I said. But it's like I could feel her like, it's a confidence thing,
Yeah.
One thing you might ask them before you open your mouth and unlock the water vault is to say, hey, can you keep an open mind? Because what I'm about to tell you has been keeping me healthy and strong and vital, and it's been helping millions of people on the planet, but it's going to require an open mind. Are you that kind of a person? And pre-qualify them.
That's good. That's a good one.
Before you drop the bomb.
Are you open-minded? No, I'm not.
Yeah.
What are you going to say now?
You're not going to mention urine therapy, are you?
Yeah.
This is actually a really key point, is that people don't like to contradict themselves.
Yeah.
So if you do say, like Brother Sage says, if you start with, do you have an open mind? They're like, yes, I do. I'm very proud of my open mind. And then
I'll defend it.
Right? And then you say, okay, well, I'm going to talk to you about urine therapy. Then it's hard for them to go, oh, but I'm not.
That's brilliant.
That's true.
I'm
love it.
just drinking it everywhere I go. I just bring my mason jar with me. So
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
and I think that
You're next level.
Yeah, and I went to this Conscious Expo a couple weekends ago, and it was the best excuse for people trying to sell me things. Like people would be like, "Oh, do you want CBD?" And I would be like, "Oh, actually, the only thing I ingest is my urine." And they were like, "Oh." But then I'm really not good with salespeople. I'll end up buying something and I don't really want it, but I'm trying to be nice. And it was the best. But I will say, so many people there already knew about it. They're like, I don't know that many girls that do it, so it's awesome that you are. And I was like, oh, so it's, I guess, more guys they know.
That's
interesting.
so great.
But yeah. So, and then I just act like super passionate about it because I am. So I think that the passion comes out and they feel that and they're like, well, I want that, right?
Yeah, totally.
And we're just here to plant seeds. I don't believe I'm here to convince anyone to do anything. I'm just here to plant a little seed, and whatever their soul journey is, I'm just grateful that I can be a little part of it like that. So.
Exactly. Yeah,
thank you for offering me your supplements, but my body manufactures its own pharmacy, so I'm good. The other thing you can do, Michelle, is, I got a whole bunch of these business cards, but you can direct them to our nonprofit website, and they can start hunting and digging and find the Shivambu hut and go all kinds of places.
Yeah, I've started doing that.
That's a good idea.
By now, there's all kinds of resources and social media groups and different ways where people can. What I love about all the social media groups in the hut is that it saves people from lots and lots of research time.
Yeah.
And
I wanted to mention my sister. Sorry. My sister has pancreatic cancer, which Brother Sage knows about. And so I gave her that book, You're on Perfect Medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And so she, she's considering it, but she's going through chemo right now. So I'm just not, sure what, the chemo urine is going to do. But I mean, it's anything, right? I mean, supposedly, your urine will filter out everything. So I'm really hoping she'll do that. And then I told her I would give her a urine massage, and she goes, "Really?" So she's even thinking about that. So I'm really happy about that.
Amazing. Wow, well done. That's
It's
incredible.
amazing how many
Yeah.
people are so
Hope she
programmed
does
by having to their go-to be the medical profession that you have to help them to break that umbilical cord.
I know. She was in a lot of pain with the pancreatic cancer, and so she, the fear just got to her, and she decided. She said she would never do chemo, but she decided to do it because of the pain she was in.
Mm.
People have their own journey. They have their own battle. I know some people that went and got the jab and the booster shots,
That's right. That's
and
right.
I have no I have no reason to judge them because that's all they knew.
Exactly.
And then some of these people are reaching out to the water therapists, saying, "Now what do I do? How can urine therapy bring me back to health after putting those poisons and dangerous things in my body?" We didn't catch them before, so catch them when you catch them.
Yeah.
And what would
And
you say to people who have gotten the jab? What would you say to them how urine therapy could be of assistance? What would you guys say? Someone comes up to you and say,
It's transmutable, so it's just perfect. It's exactly what you need now. So you don't have to worry about what you did in the past. Who you are now is what matters. And yeah, you learn every day, and that was just part of your journey. So it's what brought you here. Maybe that's what you needed in order to get you
Yeah,
to
exactly.
want to come to your own medicine.
yeah, and it's never too late.
Or the spike proteins, because they always talk about the spike proteins that come off of people that have had the jab, right? So I'm thinking the urine therapy will be helpful for that too.
Well, I agree with that. I have this one guy that I've been seeing him at this hotel room. This last 8 to 10 days, I treated him 4 times, sometimes 2 or 3 times in a row. One day, and next day. Steve would text me, "Come over," and I'm aware that he's had double shot, triple boosters. He's a diabetic. He's a slob. He's got hypodermic needles all over the floor, so I have to wear my shoes on the rug, and I feel bulletproof because of my urine. And right before I start, I always pray up. I say my
Yeah,
archangel.
that's right. Because you
I do
massage people that have had the jab, right? Oh,
exactly,
yeah.
and I've worked on clients that have a mask on. But I get all prayed up and make sure that my field is strong and my heart is open, and don't give any fear or negativity to what they bring you. Because when I'm working
Oh,
on
good.
Steve,
Yeah.
I'm just going, "This is my brother. He called me here. I'm going to give him 110% of what I got," and and it definitely has been helping him because I can feel him change. And so you have to look at your attitude, check in with your attitude when you're working with people.
Yeah, I
Do
guess
you
I
use urine therapy on
hear
them?
the place and
What's your question?
Sorry. Do
sorry,
you use urine therapy on him? I'm sorry, Michelle.
no, you first.
I don't, but what's ironic is since he's been a client and a friend of mine for 8 years, he's bought all my books. He's got urine therapy books in his possession,
Oh,
but he never
wow.
talks about practicing it. I think he was just wanting to support me.
Huh.
Who knows?
Yeah, I guess there's a place in my psyche that when you said, "What would you say?" I could hear the kind of, well, I think it'd be incredible, but I'm not sure about the nanotechnology. So that's where my sort of resistance, that's where my fear and, doubt comes in at that point.
The more and more you use the water, the more and more you realize it's an inside job. The more and more you realize how much, um, let's just say, protection, prevention, whatever you want to call it, that the water of Shiva is giving you, you get to a point where you're not as scared as you used to be. And you know that your field is strong. You wouldn't be put in a situation you couldn't handle. And stick with that. Now's the time for everybody to have their faith at an all-time high. When people come up to you and they say, well, urine therapy will work. I had a client this morning. Will it help for cancer? Well, do you believe it'll work for you? I mean, you got to check in with your trust of how things will work out, the process, the divine order, the universe, and so forth.
Well, my faith actually grew too when everybody in my household got COVID, and they were all worried about me because I've been, sick for the past year, and they were all worried about me getting it, and I'm the only one that did not get it. And that's when I was every day I was putting it on the outside and drinking it, a little bit. But I still think that's just amazing, and I'm very grateful toward Shivambu
really
for that.
is.
Yeah, and if you wear that yin yang shirt a lot, you're going to be Wonder Woman.
Yeah, you look like Wonder Woman. You look amazing. You look amazing today. You're really glowing, shining. Amazing.
Who does?
You.
You.
Thank you.
You really do.
Yeah.
It's
UT.
You got to take that in. There's a song which I recommend people listening to. It's by one Eskimo out in Alaska, and the song is called "You're Amazing," and they say, "You're amazing. I see you. Do you see you? You're amazing." And it's a terrific song.
You're amazing, or you're
That's
amazing.
cool. Since I came from Alaska 9 months ago, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's terrific. It's a terrific song. It's this garage band. It got really famous after that one song, and they made some other songs. But the song is called "You're Amazing" or "It's Amazing," one of the two.
I just heard a song yesterday called "You're Fucking Beautiful," and I thought that was kind of cool too. It was on one of the sites that I
Right.
If y'all are interested in getting rising above this whole fear narrative of COVID, I have some amazing books that will really help you like debunk germ theory. I've been out of it for probably right when COVID started. I just got the downloads about it, and I mean, I have prescribed a lot of medication in my day. So for me to like reverse that, it's been so pivotal. Like, and then I swear, like, I am not fearful of anything. I don't even wash my hands unless it's with urine. Like, I don't, it's just so freeing. And then what you'll realize is like, we are divinity. We've manifested this reality, y'all. There's nothing out there that can hurt us. Like, it's all a narrative and it's all been created. It's all part of the journey, and it's beautiful to come back to being divinity. But all these other things, they're just stories. So I have some, if you need like more like studies or proof, or even someone who's like a virologist to tell you whatever you need, I have the resources. I did like so much studying of it over the last 2 years, and I would be happy to share. Because then you're like, COVID, you're like, oh, you mean your upgrade or whatever that your body went through? Because that's more how I view it. And yeah, so it's just so freeing. And I feel like it goes perfectly with the urine, with the Shivambu.
Incredible to, like you're saying that, you've got, this medical background. And I mean, that's such a fantastic link for people to sort of like, wow, and the way you speak, and it's fantastic. You're going to really help a lot of people. It's really great. Thank you.
You know what I'm wondering about, Brother Sage, is about, because I have the MTHFR gene mutation, which I know they talk about that a lot, and it's, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just thinking that urine therapy would probably correct that too, right? I mean, because it goes in there and just gets you back to what you are original, right?
What does your intuition tell you? Not what I would tell you.
It tells me it does. It tells me it does.
To me, that goes in the same category of some things are considered incurable. Like, who made that one up? If you will,
I don't believe that either.
If you go to a website called wakeupwell.org, hold on, I gotta zip up. If you go to You're the only group I can pee off camera and be in your same presence. Okay, wakeupwell.org. Shh, it's recorded. Nobody knows this. Okay, so Doc Mike Whittort, who's been doing urine therapy for 22 or 20 whatever years, he went and filed suit against the state of Illinois for the right to use the word cure. He said doctors do not own words. They do not have the right to monopolize the word cure.
Yeah.
He spent millions of dollars, nearly bankrupted him. He won the court case. And so
Whoa.
now he can call himself in
Wow,
quotes
that's great.
Doc Mike, and he'll challenge anybody who says you can't cure or heal yourself. And he's in our board of directors, and he's currently traveling to various cities. He's in Texas right now. He's been known to go to Costa Rica.
Whoa, that's incredible.
So go check out Doc Mike. He also has
Mike.
Doc Mike.
Yeah, that's
Whitmore.
good. I've gotten conversations with because I worked with autism for many, many years. And so a lot of the people will say, you cannot cure autism. There's no cure, and I've come, with, at them with, look at the all the people that have, reversed it. And it's not a cure. It's just, they got better. So there's a lot of people that do believe that there's
No cure. Right. So when you
no
answer
cure
that,
for so
make
many
sure
things.
you make sure you do air quotes.
Air quotes.
Air quotes. No cure. According to the people who are putting out that narrative, there's no cure.
Exactly. Right. I know what you mean. Yeah.
So go to Doc Mike's website, and I want you to go to the articles section and pull up the article called the Ninth Amendment. The Ninth Amendment of the Constitution will give you human rights. It'll tell you that nobody can prescribe or give you any medical advice or alter anything you're doing about your health without your permission. And it goes on in great detail about things that we don't talk about out in the public. So that's Doc Mike.
I did want to mention one thing about my practice that I didn't before, that is actually probably the most important part of my practice. But so everything's great about it. But every time when I use the restroom and before I take a drink, I do hold my Shavan up to my heart, and I have a list of intentions, and I have these actually sitting on my evolving, and sometimes I'll read it, but other times I'm just like, I kind of quantum link it with my heart to the list. So, and then, but if I'm feeling like not super good that day, I'll go and make sure I like really read them with feeling. But on here, I attract miracles in all areas of my life. And I think we've forgotten as a species together that everything's a miracle. So it's crazy. Like there's no cures, it's not that. We've forgotten that we are a miracle. So that just reminded me. I was like, oh, one day. But I do believe that we're all here to be that reminder for everyone that's forgotten. And that's so amazing. And I feel so much gratitude every day that I get to do that. So.
Woo! Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Amen, sister.
Yeah.
We just had Water of Life Church with Chris.
Yeah, totally. I'm there. Definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, I'm coming to your church. This is great.
Definitely.
So, yeah,
I
whatever.
would love to see your list, by the way.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. It was on a day where I like kept putting it off because I was like, well, I need to be in this perfect state to write these perfect things. And I was like, no, that's the narrative again, Crystal. You're writing it right now. Yep. So I just jotted it down.
Great idea.
Yeah, I can read it. If you want me to.
Read it.
Okay. So some of them are affirmations and then some of them are intentions. I kind of just mixed it up and it was just flowing out. So please take me to the highest states of consciousness that I'm ready for. Allow me to access all the power and magic that is available to me. I request my guides to show me the way in ways that are obvious to me. Communicate with me. I request more light, love, and bliss, and help me to be in service of the collective. I attract miracles in all areas of my life. I request all light codes and frequency upgrades now. I embody the presence of my highest self and highest timeline. I release all that is no longer serving me. Allow me to access my psychic abilities with ease. I am a clear channel for the Akashic records. I am a powerful manifester. I request perfect fertility and connection with my future children. I always have everything I need. So this was just something I did.
Beautiful.
Wow, that's awesome. I love it.
Powerful affirmations. And I just posted one for you guys to read.
Yeah.
And I mean, it changes your mood instantly. It's so amazing, you know. It's like then, yeah. So
yeah,
really
tell yourself the truth.
beautiful.
Tell yourself the truth. That'll change every mood.
Tell yourself the truth.
Yes, you got good one-liners.
I've been an affirmations counselor and teacher for all these many, many years as well. So I've helped people formulate affirmations, create affirmation songs, do all kinds of affirmation statements, affirmations therapy. It's a way to choose your thoughts on purpose instead of repeating the ones that were programmed into your head.
Actually, I heard a song that you wrote that somebody sang. He played the guitar and sang. That was a really cute song. And he said
Yes.
you wrote it. Other Sage wrote it. Yeah.
Yes, and I'll sing it anytime. It's called "I'm a Pee Drinking Man."
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the lyrics are in this book.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Matt Senna is a teacher out there in New York. You want me to sing it?
Oh, of course.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm debuting. Sure there's coffee juice in tea. Yet for this modern man, this body thrives on pee. Sickness cannot touch me, nor can aging. The water of life is in its own divine timing. It knows when to serve you the perfect blend of ultra filtered nutrients. The finest nectar of immortality no money can buy. It's Oran for me. A pea-drinking man may not be the common of men, yet his youthful energy and appearance is attractive and sweet again and again. So let it flow, drink as much as you can, discover why I'm a pea-drinking man. So Matt, he's this upcoming brilliant teacher and master. He's all of 26, and he was an actor and a musician out of New York, and then he got into urine therapy and energy devices and all kinds of stuff. And now he's an incredible soul. So get to know Matt Senna.
Matt,
Is he the one that sang it?
He pulled out his guitar and he sang it. It's on
No.
my YouTube channel, and Matt has it on his YouTube channel. But I'll put his name in here so you can look him up if you're interested. That's Matt Senna.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's about to move to Montana to help out George Johnson, who had his legs amputated. Do you know George Johnson, also known as Joseph Rogers? Well, he's a big Shivambu devotee, so big that he has tie-dye t-shirts that say Shivambu. He's got a license plate that says Shivambu, and he wrote Shivambu on the entrance to Yellowstone Park in big letters and posted a picture of it. He's eventually going to get prosthesis and be mobile again, but for now, Matt is going to live with him for a while and help him out.
Why did he have his legs amputated?
I have no idea. He had some infection or I don't know what happened. You'll have to check on his story, but he's a fighter, and I don't think this is going to take him out. We got 30 minutes. You want to go back to the book?
I just put something else in there since Crystal was sharing what she uses, and I was using this one. It has a specific name. I just put it in the chat. I don't remember the specific name. I was just going to look it up online. I know I wrote it down somewhere, but it's something like a prayer for like right relation or something like that. Because I've seen some people, I've heard someone talk about all the implications of each line, and it's kind of like a 3-step prayer that just covers an umbrella of other things. And so that's the one that I use in a similar way to what Crystal described.
Will you read it for us?
Nice too.
May I practice out of love for myself. May I practice out of a desire to know the truth. may I practice for the well-being of all beings.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, did we read page 40? Page 40. Did we read chapter 6? No, we didn't. Crystal, did we read chapter 6?
No.
Okay. I'll read it. Let's go. We still got 28 minutes. The whole body mind connection way to supercharge AUT effectiveness through optimum diet, attitude, emotions, and self love practices. I've gotten sensitive in using words to talk to an audience, and you got to know which people will hear certain words. So if I say spiritual practices, or I use the word God, or soul, or Holy Spirit, I'll lose a bunch of people in the audience. So I started saying wellness practices or self-love practices because that covers a greater, spectrum of believers. So that's why I said that. Why does UT works for some and not for everyone? Healing is more complex than just purifying or detoxing the physical body. Improving the diet, fasting, cleansing, right thinking or mental attitude, healthy emotions, and spiritual practices increase Shivambu's benefits and results. Health is a result of the balance of all 4 pillars of health that hold together the foundation of health that a client must achieve to produce permanent well-being. It's kind of similar to if you have 4 horses that are pulling a cart and one horse breaks a leg, you're going to have a hard time moving that cart. So you want to keep all 4 pillars equally in balance. Understand? People who are miserable or self-destructive have much more work to do on themselves than people who are grateful, joyous folks. Self-motivated people do really well with Oran therapy. A well-trained or intuitively sensitive UT teacher will make inquiries into every area of a client's life in order to design a well-rounded program to accelerate, deepen, and secure results. Detailed questioning is more thorough than just advising clients to do UT protocols and wishing them well. By taking the time to do follow-ups will bring added confidence and reassurance to the client as you work together as a team to change, improve, and save a life. Shivambu is the gift of health. The human body requires a balance of all 4 pillars of health and wellness in order to achieve and maintain its health and longevity. The mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual aspects have to be working as one team for vitality and energy to work at its optimum. Illness can occur when a person is only focusing on some, but not all of these aspects of health and well-being. A prime example is how many people you know that seem to get it together spiritually, but they're sick. People that are rich, but they're miserable. People that exercise a lot, but they eat garbage. So you can see how that plays out. When making inquiries with clients, the compiled information will let you not only determine which direction to guide the session, but also how to make a general treatment suggestions and a program that includes all of these health aspects of health. What and how well we eat affects the color, smell, texture, and taste of Oran. Those people consuming a raw vegan or fruitarian diet tend to have clearer, tastier, and more aromatic smelling Oran than do meat, dairy, or processed food eaters. This also includes those using alcohol and prescribed or recreational drugs. Oran is also affected by your state of mind or emotions throughout the day, especially during meals, snacks, or drinking fluids. Reminder, you either get sick from what you eat or what's eating you.
Mhm.
I know you guys know what the heck what that means. Yes. Normal pH is within the range of 6 to 7 with an average of 6.2. A diet high in protein with meat and dairy as well as cooked, processed, altered foods, alcohol, caffeine, drugs will not only lower the pH into the more acidic state It will also increase the amount of mucus in the body, blood, and Oran. Thank you, Wikipedia. Anyone who is serious and committed to achieving their best health will do everything possible to reclaim their biological terrain, both intestines and mind. The daily practice of Oran therapy is only as effective in your self-healing as you are in cleaning up your diet, mind, and internal world. Simply drinking and applying Oran will bring results, yet at a much slower pace when the body has to constantly do house cleaning from poor food and lifestyle choices, which is causing obstructions to vitality, strength, and energy. You guys get that? Yeah, work
Yeah,
with your
yeah.
body. Be on the same team
Mhm.
as your body. Oran therapy becomes 100 times more therapeutic as you move closer to a living plant, food, and or fruit-based diet. Anyone going through transitional diet changes on the way to thriving on living plant foods, adding these will boost overall healing. Consider including looping, drinking more Oran daily, frequent Oran enemas, fasting on Oran, Oran massages, and saturation dosing along with much needed rest. Then you will achieve your health goals much faster. Any feedback about what you just heard? Proactive. You find the people who are lit up and proactive. Was that a water bottle on your belly, Michelle?
Yeah.
It looked like an
I
enema
didn't
bag.
realise you could- I didn't realise you. I thought you could only see my head.
Yeah, well, we have ways to see things without seeing things.
Yeah.
So approaching this with this kind of holistic model gives you great understanding, insight, and compassion for people, and you're able to see where the resistance is, and really being as active and being responsible for their life and for their health. And that's part of our work, is empowering people to take responsibility. And for a lot of people, that's new to them.
I mean, I just, what's coming to my mind is, a big step for me, like when I was doing this naturopathic course, like I said, 20 years ago, where I heard about it, but I didn't do it. I only did the topical applications. I I was doing raw food, vegan, and then basically I got sick, and then I didn't have B12, and I had to have B12 injections and all of this. But and then a lot of people where I lived, that happened the same to a lot of people. So so many people, I would say, over the last, it's almost like became a fad that sort of went back to eating meat, eating this. A lot of people being told, you need to eat meat. Um, and but now, I'm sort of realizing. So I did go back to eating meat a bit, not very much, because I always just felt like, oh, and but now I realise, well, it was the urine that was missing, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think vegan and raw, especially in cold countries, can be helpful over a long period. But for me, with the urine therapy, that to me is the missing piece. Yeah. Because I
So,
just know too many people that haven't done well on
what
vegan.
percentage of your diet, Michelle, is live foods?
Oh, now, no, the last 6 months it's just been just really bad, because I've just been all over the place, and you know, um, that's why I got it. That's why I felt terrible, and I come back to this. And but in my life it's been very high, but when yeah, around that time it was high. It was, I don't know, maybe 80%, even more. I think like maybe 6 or 8 months I was doing 9. I mean, mostly raw food. um
Are you
but
wanting to move back to raw foods?
yeah, definitely, because I know that when I'm just naturally alkaline, whether I'm just drinking wheatgrass or whatever, I've just done so many cleanses in my life. But to me, the urine is the missing piece, because it's like drinking your blood. So it's a meal, isn't it? You know, it's like when you do a fast, you're not hungry. I mean, why is that? It's because you're having food. You're not just drinking water and then you get all the shakes and you're like, you know. So, you know, for me, that is simply the missing piece. So now I feel confident that I can go forward in my life, have all the tools and practices and the ways of eating, and it's going to be completely different, because I'm just very confident that this is the missing piece.
Yes, it is. And is it give you reassurance and comfort to know, guys, that you don't have to do this alone?
Yeah,
How do you,
The challenge everybody
that
has is
helps.
that they are so programmed to think that they need to have something to put in their mouth or put in their body to sustain health or build muscle or get energy, that for to ask them to step out of that program, to step out of that mindset, scares the hell out of them.
yeah,
And here you are,
That's
like
it.
here's a guy who's living off fruit, and it's snowing outside, and I go out barefoot to take out the compost and the trash. And people say, well, how do you do that? Well, I've been doing deep conscious breathing for 40 years, so I know how to get the core heat and the core strength. And once you know your body, that the temperature gets to be a mute point. I mean, you can play with that one, but you're not going to know that until you experience it. And
I
yet
think
people
one of
will see.
the things, the other thing as well is
To be honest with you, sorry.
no, see,
Michelle, you first, and then Catherine.
That's
the
fine.
other thing is, you know, my husband, he's sort of like lost a lot of weight recently, and from stress, and we were watching Troy, you know, and you know, because he's a pro meat eater, but at the same time, urine therapy. So I guess that's been a bit of a, that I can tell that that's a bit of a clunk in there, you know, because he wants to get, you know, built up again, you know. So yeah, I can sort of see that's a, you know, I can see he's got a preference towards that, you know. So that's
He wants to build a male physique and
yeah.
look like the man you want. He wants to look like for you.
Maybe not quite as full on as Troy, but he definitely wants to sort of get get strong again, you know.
Yes, and you as his partner can do him a great service by acknowledging and seeing that already inside him that he may not be looking at. If he's still feeling insecure and inferior, I mean, it's a mental thing here. Uh, if you can help him to find that within himself, to bring out that character or that Troy within him, uh, he'll either manifest the body that he wants or it'll be a mute point. Because if he gets obsessive with it, that's going to stress out his body.
No, I don't think there's too much chance of it being obsessive, but with people drinking, eating raw food, and I guess, you know, I guess his sort of concern is that if he's just drinking, eating raw food, vegan, and urine therapy, then, you know, is that enough for, you know, a working man and someone that wants to be really physically, you know, strong?
So that was my fiance's biggest concern. He's 6 foot
Uh-huh.
4. He was a college athlete. You know, he's always been trying to gain weight, get bigger. And first we had to let go of the belief that he needed to be bigger and the whole programming that this is how men are supposed to look. Like, no, you can push your body. If you're having to eat so much to maintain weight, is that healthy for your whole digestive system? So yes, first that. But since he switched to being raw vegan, he's working out the same amount at the gym and he's lifting pretty much the same amount. And he's in disbelief. In fact, he's telling everyone because he really thought he was going to lose weight, and that hasn't been the case.
But he's
So,
drinking his urine as well, isn't he?
yes, we pretty much loop all day and have like a meal late in the day.
Yeah, because, you know, I've had friends, and, you know, obviously over the years looked at people doing amazing things, athletics, you know, with being vegan and that. But you know, eventually sometimes people just end up getting sick. That's why I just sort of think the urine is the missing link, you know. But that's so good to hear here, you know. That's really, really helpful. Thank you.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is that's why I'm struggling so much with diet, because I did get sick, and I lost so much weight. I'm, you know, I'm hungry all the time, to be honest with you. I you know, because my gut microbiome is so screwed up, you know, I'm constantly hungry, so I'm having a really hard time. I've introduced more fruit. I'm not even eating many raw vegetables because I react to them, but I am eating a lot more fruit. But I am still eating, you know, dead foods. You know, some, you know, I eat usually like either eggs or meat once a day still, and I feel really guilty about it. But at the same time, I feel like my body needs it, and maybe that's all my thoughts and my conditioning. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. um, but trying to transition out of that is like, is it feels like it feels like I've got this huge struggle going on inside of me, and it's it makes me feel like I'm, you know, I'm suffering. I'm making myself suffer because of it, and I know that there's a way out, and I'm not figuring it out.
Is that your intention?
My intention is to heal.
Okay, so if your intention is to heal or to gain insight into your behavior, then you will get your answers and you will heal whatever it is you're going through, because you're the one who's in control of your mind and your body. So it's a matter of looking at your ideas and your thoughts that you keep repeating and changing your instructions to yourself. And Catherine, you and I have had this talk before, and I was doing my best to pump you up and support you. And you can get through all this. And look at this support group that you manifested around you in the screen right now.
Yeah, I used to have some of the same thoughts that you were having, that I mean, and I used to blame it on even the weirdest stuff, like, oh, I was never breastfed. I have the worst immune system. I'm just, you know, wasn't made for this world. My gut's all messed up. And, you know, I had EGDs done, and I mean, it's crazy. But from my observation, if you could just change one statement, when you keep saying that your gut's messed up, every time you think that, maybe you can put your hands on your stomach and just feel into it and give sin love there and be like, actually, my stomach's doing exactly what it's meant to do for me. And it always has. It's been with me all these years. And it's taken all this food and turned it into me. And I'm so proud of it. And I support it so much. And I love you. I love you. I love you. And just feel into that love that you have for your body, because your body's amazing and it's perfect. And as soon as you start feeling that love, I promise magical things are going to happen. They're already happening, but you'll have awareness that it's happening. And then these thoughts will stop.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's super good. Thank you, Crystal. Gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I know thoughts and words are so powerful. I know. Yeah.
And you're
Also,
doing
what
great. You're doing great. You really are. You're here. Look at you.
Thanks.
Showing up for
Thanks
yourself.
for the encouragement. Yeah.
You're here.
I had a
Hey,
lot of
I'm still
problems.
alive. Mhm.
I had a
You
lot
will
of
be for a
problems
long
for
time.
many
Michelle,
years,
go ahead.
but there was a time around when I had pneumonia. Well, before that, and after, but around that time, I was doing a lot of release work, different emotional release things. But the it for me, also part of it, as well as the positive, was really being able to allow my emotion through when it rose. So, like, breathing, coming down to the earth, and giving, like, surrendering to the mother, and oh, like sometimes just letting myself die, letting myself say all the negative, because the Akuku in the Peruvian mountains, they, you know, and there's obviously there's a lot of, thoughts around this, and but they're saying, that we just need to clear all this goo to the earth, and the earth, she needs it. It's her food. It's like the trees and us, we breathe. It's the symbiotic relationship. It's the same as our the same as all the toxicity, energetic toxicity, releasing to the earth, and then she transmutes it and then gives us back energy. So it's like it was giving myself permission to release hatred, release, secrets, release darkness, release, and then even though we know that we don't actually need forgiveness, sometimes when I said it, please forgive me, like I would start crying as well, and it would come from my belly, and it's just amazing, and I really got used to being able to wail. There was a couple of years where my body, my lungs, my everything needed to wail, and then I would I'd finish like
Yeah.
and then just bring myself back up and then breathe all that positive, in. And I felt like, and then just sit in silence. And it just helped me so much. The suppressed emotions.
The feeling of unworthiness is really huge. And so, yeah, releasing that is like, yeah, I can see how that's super important.
Actually feeling it.
Yeah, exactly. Feeling it and releasing
it. Yeah. And then what's amazing, we have all these techniques,
Yeah. Thank you guys. This is really awesome.
Where we don't,
take a breath.
in other ways, like, because I've taught in Alexander technique, but in other ways, like thinking your spine, releasing and breathing throughout the day. But sometimes people use these things as a way to not actually release and feel those heavier frequencies, so it's choosing, knowing that you can choose that time, that I can choose to wail and feel hatred and let it out, and I can choose to, I'm in an appropriate situation and I don't want to show the feelings or emotions at that time, and we have other techniques, to release in that moment.
Yeah, because I know it has to be unearthed to let it out,
I
if
think
it's hidden, it's way deep. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not getting stuck in one modality or the other, like just all like, or oh, it's
Well, it must be stuck in my gut, right?
yeah.
Time to do some work.
So I would like to invite everybody to take some time out today, do 30 deep connected breaths, and see if you can enter into a new moment with the idea that you're already complete, that you're whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, healthy, happy, joyous, successful, connected, and free, and you're not bringing the story, the drama, the history into the next moment, so you have a fresh, clean mind and a fresh, clean moment to build a new life.
Amen.
And what if you
Amen is right.
What if you woke up tomorrow morning and go, I'm okay just the way I am, and let's see what beautiful gifts life has to bring me, instead of trying to look at it through the old filter.
Absolutely.
That's perfect.
That's how powerful you are.
Yeah.
So you got 6 more minutes with me. We will be returning on the 1st? No, the 24th.
24th.
Well, what is today anyway? What is today? The 22nd?
17th.
17.
I am so out of it. Okay, so we're returning on the 24th. I'm already at the hot springs. Okay.
In a week, 1 week.
Okay.
Yeah.
One emotion everyone is seeking is relief. That's interesting.
That comes from the teaching of Esther Hicks in the Abraham material.
Oh yeah.
And what I loved about studying her stuff and studying, I was the guy who studied the movie The Secret, and we studied, each one had the next understanding of manifestation, and we went from the law of attraction to the law of intention, and all these new laws were showing up, and each one had its drawbacks until I discovered that the one that hit home for me was simply focus on what you love and let love bring you all that you love. And so your day will be constantly being filled up with things that you enjoy doing because that's what your attention is on. So instead of thinking about, well, what's the law of attraction, and the law of intention also has that sabotage law, the unintentions, the things that you don't want. They're still in the background. So put your attention on things you love and see what kind of magic happens.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Yeah. Thank you.
Love is all there is. The rest is all make believe.
True.
It's all something else going on.
Yeah, we've had a right old time, haven't we? Experiencing all the shit. Now we're ready for something more.
Bring it on, baby. I'm ready. I mean, this is actually the best time to be on the planet if you have the right attitude.
Yeah, I'm done with the old stuff.
True. Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, good. The graduates from the last class want to join forces with you guys. So what's going to happen is when we're all done here, I could actually send you the link now. We have a private Telegram group that's just for the graduates.
That's cool.
That's great.
And so you can be in the exclusive water family group.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Really amazing.
Okay.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Yeah.
Really, really so happy to be here with you all.
Likewise.
Thank you all so much. I just feel so much peace and love. And I was so concerned that I was going to just I don't know. And I feel really great. So thank you all. Because I wasn't sure how today was going to start out for me. So wow, I definitely needed this.
Beautiful, beautiful. Catherine, do you feel like you got some more things to inspire you?
Totally. This has been the most inspiring I've felt in a long time. Thank you, you guys. All of you. Thank you.
Well, good. If you want to pass that around to people in your life, whether you talk about urine therapy or not,
I think I will.
one of the best ways, if you find yourself getting sad or depressed or, not really moving forward in life, one of the best remedies is to leave your house and go cheer somebody up.
That's true.
Or Zoom. I guess it works too.
Yeah, or Zoom. I used to live over in North Broadway here in Boulder, and across the street was the sidewalk where all the homeless people would go to the homeless shelter, and then they would find their way to the liquor store, and then would find their way under a bridge. And that was like their route. Some of them had enough confidence to take the 1 to 2 mile hike to town to get all the social services and free meals and all that. But each one of these people were a delight when they let their guard down and they open up and tell you their story.
Oh yeah, they are. I live in LA, so yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
They're the best.
So cheering people up is wonderful. Michelle?
Sorry, I remember there was a question that I needed to ask. This set feels like a back to basics, but I think I got a bit confused when Catherine was talking about the chemotherapy. So I thought that you couldn't have Shivambu if you're on any kind of medication, but is it okay if you can? Because it alchemizes everything. So my brother's just seriously depressed and on antidepressants now, and I can get him doing that.
Yes, I would suggest if they still believe they have to take it, is to spread it apart on either side of taking the drugs, like an hour or two on either side, so the body doesn't interpret it as an invader.
Okay. An hour or two either side. Okay.
Yeah. And then
as far as the chemo too, they told my sister that she shouldn't even be touching people for like 2 days after she gets the chemo because it excretes through your skin. So is that something to worry about? I didn't think so.
oh, there's really
intuition, right? Yeah.
Yeah, intuition. I mean, there are people who are still doing recreational drugs and they're still doing urine therapy. But at some point, the chemistry of the brain's going to shift and the craving goes away. And that's a magical moment when people all of a sudden, they don't crave cigarettes. They don't crave drugs. They don't crave the things that they were addicted to.
Yep. And it's, it puts an end to that thing of everybody thinking they've got to
Yeah.
be perfect, like I did
Okay.
stupidly, before they drink their pee. So yeah,
Mhm,
great,
mhm.
love it.
Yeah, because there'll never be that perfect moment if you don't start somewhere.
No,
No, I know. That's right.
it's just got to be perfect.
It has to be,
Good
and then it will be
one.
pistastic. Yes, I know. Well, guys,
Okay.
really enjoy playing
Okay.
your teacher for you. It's been a great class. You guys have awesome insights, and I love watching your journey.
Yeah, thanks so much
That's been
for
awesome. Yeah, thank you.
being
Well,
awesome pea drinker
All right.
teacher.
Have a great where are you going? You're going to the
I'm going to a place.
hot springs. Hot springs.
The
Yeah, have
town
a
is
great
called
hot springs.
Idaho Springs. It's a mining town from the 1920s, and most of the buildings
Oh,
have the
nice.
same architecture saved from the 1920s. But the hot
Oh,
springs,
so you're going to Idaho?
no. It's a town in Colorado called Idaho Springs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And the hot springs is in Idaho Springs. The hot springs name is Indian Springs. And so
Got it.
I get a hotel room or motel room right across the street. And some of you guys heard I'm bringing my whole collection of aged and fresh Oran. And my hotel room is going to be a full out salon and spa. Please don't ask me to videotape. No. So guys, let's do a hug. Let's do a group hug.
Enjoy. Yay! Lots of love, everyone.
Lots of love. When I get a chance, I'll
Back
send
to
you guys
you.
the recording.
So yeah. See you
Say
next
hi to
week.
Justina if you see Justina.
Yes.
Bye for now, guys.
Bye.